Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Shem Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Tere Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srila Prabhupada, Lilamrita by Saswarup Das Goswami, Volume 1, A Lifetime in Preparation, India 1896 to 1965, Chapter 5, The War. So even in the middle of the war, Abhay Charan had started his magazine, Back to Godhead. And so an article that he wrote in that, or it is about the Back to Godhead magazine. The defect of the present-day civilization is just like that. This is actually the civilization of nescience or illusion, and therefore civilization has been turned into militarization. Everyone is fully concerned with the comforts of the body and everything related with the body, and no one is concerned with the spirit that moves the body, although even a boy can realize that the motor car mechanism has little value. There is no driver of the car. This dangerous ignorance of humanity is a gross nescience and has created a dangerous civilization in the form of militarization. This militarization, which in softer language is nationalization, is an external barrier to understanding human relations. There is no meaning in a fight where the parties do fight only for the matter of different colored dresses. There must be, therefore, an understanding of human relation without any consideration of the body designation or colored dresses. So therefore, there must be an understanding of human relation without any consideration of the bodily designation or colored dresses. Or colored dresses means the skin color. But normally nobody is looking into that. Back to Godhead is a feeble attempt by the undersigned under the direction of His Divine Grace, Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, the celebrated founder and organizer of the Gaudiya Math activities, just to bring up a real relation of humanity with central relation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That there is a great and urgent need of a literature like this is keenly felt by the leaders of all countries, and the following statements will help much in the procedure. It was 1944, and Abhay specifically addressed the crisis of world war. The world's political leaders were expressing their disgust at the people's suffering and scarcity. After 4 years of fighting, costing millions of human lives, the Second World War, within 20 years, was still scourging the earth. Although the end was in sight, leaders expressed not so much happiness and hope as weariness and uncertainty. Even if this war ended, would there be yet another war? Had man not yet grasped the vital lesson of how to live in peace? Abhay quoted the Archbishop of India. India, guided by God, can lead the world back to sanity. He quoted the President of the United States. A program, therefore, of moral rearmament of the world cannot fail to lessen the dangers of armed conflict. Such moral rearmament, to be most highly effective, must receive support on a worldwide basis. He mentioned former President Herbert Hoover, who had affirmed that the world needs to return to moral and spiritual ideals. And he quoted a resolution by the British House of Commons affirming that spiritual principles are the common heritage of all people, and that men and nations urgently need to acknowledge the sovereignty of God. He quoted Wendell Willkie, who, after his return from Russia, had reported millions of Russians killed, wounded, or missing in the war, and millions more suffering from a winter of terrible scarcity and subjugation. What is true for the Russian people, Abhay wrote, is also true for other people. And we Indians are feeling the same scarcity, the same want, and the same disgust. He quoted Britain's Foreign Secretary, Anthony Eden, who had been filled with lamentation and indignation at the miseries of war. He quoted the Archbishop of Canterbury. In every quarter of earth, men long to be delivered from the curse of war and to find it in a world which has regained its peace, respite from the harshness and bitterness of the world they have known till now. But so often they want the kingdom of heaven without its king, the kingdom of God without God, and they cannot have it. It's a nice way of saying kingdom of God without God. So kingdom of God means all the facilities, all the opulence, all the comforts, but without God means they don't want to be answerable to anybody. They just want to enjoy, but it's not going to happen. Our resolve must be back to God. We make plans for the future, for peace amongst the nation and for civil security at home. This is quite right enough, and it would be wrong to neglect it. But all our plans will come to shipwreck on the rock of human selfishness unless we turn to God. Back to God, that's the chief need of England and of every nation. Yeah, but the problem is, who wants? Everybody wants it, but nobody wants to work on it. Spirituality, it's not just a noble idea or just a fag thing or fashion thing that, oh yes, yes, I am also spiritual. We want spirituality. No war, only peace. But for that spirituality, one has to work on it. It doesn't just come like that, just by having a coffee shop discussion. One has to work on it. Idea is to keep our consciousness at least at the level of goodness, if not beyond. At least on that level. And goodness means, yes, the person will love peace. It's passion and ignorance when they don't want peace. They just want more and more things. And to bring the consciousness to the level of goodness and to keep it there, it requires daily practice of spirituality. Daily, more and more rigorous practice. Because the tendency of mind is again to go down. So it's not that easy just talking about peace and happiness and spirituality. He also quoted Sir Francis, young husband of Britain. Now that religion is everywhere attacked brutally, we look to India, the very home of religion, for a sign. And finally, he quoted Sir Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. This war, when it would be won, would prove to be the breeding ground of other wars if peace was not saved. It could happen only if powerful nations ceased to take pride and glory in their possessions, which were based on labor and tribute of other weaker nations. This perhaps was what Sir Harcourt Butler meant when he said that the principles of Hinduism contained the essential elements for the saving of world's civilizations. And in another quote from Dr. Radhakrishnan, Abhay offered a statement he also used as one of the mottos of the magazine. We have to defeat tyranny in the realm of thought and create a will for world peace. Instruments for training the mind and educating human nature should be used to develop a proper social outlook, without which institutional machinery was of little use. So, but now proper social outlook is only money, money, money. That's all people want. Our position, money and everything to enjoy our senses. Basically, money is for what? To give me greater, better, which I think is better in compared to others, better sense pleasure. That's all. Not realizing, I mean, if we really analyzed, I'm just working for my sense pleasure, to gratify my senses. And if I think somebody who has much more money than I do, he is enjoying his senses better than I am. Maybe he is going to a better restaurant, a better hotel, staying in a bigger, better house, driving a bigger, better car, wearing expensive clothes. That's all. What more? Maybe more jewelry, maybe more perfume. But do we know? Do we really know if he is really enjoying, or he is suffering more than I am? I hope he is not. I don't want anybody to suffer. But but do we really look at it? No. So so what is the society on the whole has come down to? Just fighting, being envious of others, being competitive, trying to bring others down, trying to make myself grow materially so I can enjoy. Where is enjoyment? That's a Prabhupada again and again and again. Real enjoyment, real pleasure is in Krishna consciousness. But even when we come into this line, because we still have those material tendencies in our mind, we judge people, we try to bring them down, we badmouth others, we have competition, instead of enjoy your spiritual progress, enjoy our spiritual path. No. And make further progress. But no, we still have that envious heart that stops us. And here, war is what? War is because of envy. Whether Hitler was envious of others or whether Britain was envious of others, but whatever the reason. And there's the whole world was into it. And then America was, he said, oh, Japan attacked us first, so we threw a hydrogen bomb. That's it, be done with it. And that is why somebody said a nice thing. In any war, it doesn't matter who's right. It matters who's left. Left means after the war, whoever is left, is the right person. That's it. It's nothing but envy. And another problem is those who are at war, or those who want to take over others' lands and this and that, they don't realize the soul cannot be killed. Okay, right now because of my war, I can kill some people, but the soul is going to take birth again. And maybe the soul, when it takes birth, they're all going to get together and make a major, more powerful army, and maybe 20, 30, 40 years later, kick me out. Then what? So what's the use? And it also can be understood in this way. Suppose we are traveling by train from, say, Delhi to Mumbai. So we are in the train just for a little period of time, maybe whatever, 24 hours it takes. I don't know how long it takes. just for 24 hours. We have, if our reservation is confirmed, so we have our seat where we can sit down and take rest at night. But if in the same train we start fighting and we start taking over other seats and this and that, in Mumbai, everybody's going to get down. What's the point in fighting? And who it is possible if you fight so much that TT can call the police and police can come and get us down at some other station and punish us. Why? Just for some temporary things we fight. And we keep on fighting. The whole world is fighting. Abhay expressed his confidence that the spiritual resources of India could be used by everyone, not only to enhance the glory of India, but to benefit the whole world. Next, he told how he had come to begin Back to Content magazine, how he had written a letter 2 weeks before the disappearance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and how his spiritual master had instructed him to preach in English. So under the circumstances since 1936 up to now, I was simply speculating whether I shall venture this difficult task, and that without any means and capacity. But as none have discouraged me, I have now taken courage to take up the work. But at the present moment, my conscience is dictating me to take up the work, although the difficulties are not over for the present situation arising out of war conditions. Abhay stated that his paper could contain only the transcendental messages of the great sages of India, especially Lord Chaitanya, and that his duty would be simply to repeat them, just like a translator. He would not manufacture anything, so his words would descend as transcendental sound for guiding people back to Godhead. He admitted that the subject matters of Back to Godhead, being from a totally different sphere of consciousness, might seem dry to his readers, but he held that anyone who actually gave attention to his message would benefit. So sugar candy is never sweet to those who are suffering from the disease of the bile, but still sugar candy is a medicine for bilious patients. The taste of sugar candy will gradually be revived if the bilious patient goes on taking sugar candy regularly for the cure of the disease. We recommend the same process to the readers of Back to Godhead. So those who have jaundice, that is a disease of the liver or bile, when they taste sugar candy, it doesn't taste them sweet. It's very disgusting taste actually. But what's the remedy? The remedy is to keep on tasting sugar candy. So gradually he gets okay. So right now our disease is of ignorance. And the remedy is Krishna consciousness, whether it is chanting or reading the scriptures or doing other services. In the beginning, it doesn't taste good. We don't want to do it. But somehow or other, if we have developed some faith, then we take up the process and carry on with it. And slowly, we'll develop taste. We'll start liking it, and we can develop love for Krishna also by doing the same process. Abhay focused on presenting the timeless message of the Vedas, but in the context of current crisis, in his essay Godhead and its potentialities, he presented Vedic evidence and logical arguments to explain the transcendental nature of Godhead and the individual souls, both being deathless, blissful, and full of knowledge. Because men have forgotten and neglected their vital connection with God, they can never be satisfied in the material world, which is temporary and beset with unavoidable miseries. As spiritual souls, everyone is eternal by nature, and therefore everyone tries to avoid the onslaught of distresses and dangers which come one after another. But the material body is meant for suffering and ultimately for destruction. So this is going to happen with everybody, no matter how much we try. The exodus of the residents of Calcutta to other places out of fear being raided by the Japanese bombs is due to the same tendency of non-destructible existence. But those who are thus going away do not remember that even after going away from Calcutta, saved from the raids of the Japanese bombs, they are unable to protect their bodies as non-destructible in any part of the material universe, when the same bodies will be raided by the bombs of material nature in the form of threefold miseries. So that we cannot avoid in the material world. Everywhere suffering is there. Everywhere. Of course, that doesn't mean we just jump in front of the bombs. No. But we have to understand the reality. The Japanese also, who are threatening the Calcutta people with ruthless air raids for increasing their own happiness by possessions of lands or not know lands, do not know that their happiness is also temporary and destructible, as they have repeatedly experienced their own fatherland. The living beings, on the other hand, who are designed to be killed are by nature eternal, impenetrable, indivisible, etc. So all those living entities who are threatened to be killed, as well as those who are threatening to conquer, are all alike in the grip of Maya potency and are therefore in the darkness. That's complete darkness. Darkness means ignorance, complete ignorance. So, yes, it is very, very sad. But as Prabhupada mentioned, that this movement is gone, will go down in the history of mankind as the best or only movement that saved mankind at the time of need. Exact sentence, exact words, I don't remember, but there's something like that. So yes, things are going to get worse and worse, that's for sure, as Kali Yuga progresses. But knowledge, spiritual knowledge and spiritual practices are the ones that are going to help, nothing else. Okay, I guess I can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments? Okay, you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.